How often does this happen to you? If your answer is more than twice a game, then you might want to watch this video. No time wasted, let's get straight into this shit. So the first point, and one of the most important ones, is knowing that the closer you are to an angle, the faster the opponent will see you. And you will be at a big disadvantage. So basically, if you're further away from an angle compared to your opponent, you will see him but he won't see you, and vice versa as well. Here's a simulation from the YouTuber Brokas.
In the first scenario, you're peeking closer to the angle than the enemy. Note how they are able to see the edge of your model before you are able to see them. In the second scenario, you're both the same distance from the angle. This means that you'll be able to see each other at the same time. In the last scenario, you're peeking further from the angle, and you will be able to see the enemy before they can see you. Just like the first scenario, but reversed. That means...
So the easiest way to counteract is basically just to step back and peek from a distance. But if you can't do that either, just overpeek the guy holding the angle. Also, the closer you are to the wall, the quicker you will appear to your opponent, which is very important for when jiggle peeking operas, and also when you are ready to overpeek. There are many ways to peek, and I will show you the most important ones right now. Jiggle peeking. Jiggle peeking is basically quickly strafing in and out of cover to bait a shot or gather information. So you will be using this to bait an opponent firing so they can be punished for the reload. To spot enemies while minimizing your body exposure. To check multiple angles quickly without committing. However, don't jiggle peek too often or too predictably, because the guy holding an angle will get lucky and manage to kill you. Wide peek. Wide peeking is just strafing wide out of cover to expose yourself deliberately, but to make it harder for your enemies to track you. Jump peeking. Jumping out of cover to gain information while minimizing the risk of being killed. To spot an AWP or a sniper without fully committing, and you could also, while jump peeking, take the MP9 for example, because it has very good jump accuracy on its first few shots, so you could basically attack your enemy, but it's usually used just to get information. Now, how to hold angles. If you're tired of being pre-fired while holding angles, the key is learning where not to stand. To find where not to stand, go on practice mode, remove the bots, and choose the T side. Grab an AK and clear angles as you normally would. Notice the spots you pre-aim, and that's exactly where you should never stand as a CT. These are called obvious angles. Now obviously there are a few exceptions, but you shouldn't be staying there because they will destroy you by pre-firing if they have any sort of idea of crosshair placement. Instead, play around and experiment with off angles by positioning yourself slightly ahead or away from common angles. You force your opponents to flick you. This counters speaker's advantage and makes their shots less accurate. But remember, off angles also have downsides. You'll often have no cover and will be vulnerable to multiple opponents or flashbangs. That's why these are best used late in the round or to counter someone who is going into sight alone. All of the methods taught in this video boil down to one simple rule. Don't stand where the opponents will pre-aim, but rules are made to be broken in the right circumstances. For example, let's say on Mirage Apartments, with a teammate baiting the enemy's attention, you can hold an otherwise predictable angle and secure multi-kills. The final tip, let's talk about aggression. While holding angles is essential, knowing when to go aggressive is a game changer. Aggressive solo plays. Force your opponents out of their comfort zone, require them to adapt to your moves rather than the other way around, give you instant feedback for improvement as each success or failure teaches you something new. This is very important to go into these high pressure situations and just where you are kind of like scared, but that's where you really learn. So even if the play doesn't work out, you've learned a lot. And if you follow the tip from my last video of analyzing your VODs after each and every single game, you'd watch the VOD and see where you made a mistake, what not to do, what to do, what was successful, what was not successful. Anyways, like and subscribe for more educational videos like this one, and make sure to comment something that I missed. Bye bye.